Right, hey guys, how we doing? Back another video from Totally Not Mark, and I really want to check this out. I've recently checked out episode 7 of The Amazing Digital Circus, and I know episode 8 is out, but this was uploaded before episode 8. So I really wanted to see what Mark has to say on the series. I think it's amazing. I think it's fantastic storytelling. I love how it doesn't spoon feed you everything. It's like little tiny snippets of why everyone is in where they are, and we don't even know where they are or what it is, and it's just this whole mystery of stuff. Every episode is like it answers certain things, but you're still asking more questions afterwards. Let's see what Mark has to say on the Amazing Digital Circus.
I have come to a life-altering realization. I am old. Like, algorithmically old. And I know this because apparently there exists this show called The Amazing Digital Circus that I've never seen a single thing from, which is impressively embarrassing
Because each episode averages like 50-something million views.
because episode 1 alone has been watched enough times to equal roughly, I don't know, 1/16th of the Earth's population.
Is that many
And
views?
if
So
you
that's
think that's a lot,
amazing.
well, hold this digital circus beer because over 1 billion views have been collected across its 7 episodes on YouTube, and that's not even to mention Netflix, where it has presumably colonized several additional demographics I've apparently lost contact with.
Oh.
However, while I don't know much of anything about this show, I have picked up a few small things. Number 1, it has a mystery component yet to be solved.
Yep.
And number 2, the story itself isn't finished yet. And you know what that means? It means I'm about to restore my reputation by doing the unthinkable. I am going to uncover all of the secrets of the Amazing Digital Circus and predict its ending in one sitting and without help. But in order to understand the circus, I must first become the circus, which means a costume change is in order.
Okay.
Awesome! Now that's what I'm talking about. Time to jump in, jump.
Oh, the glitchiness and stuff. Okay, I'm loving the vibe.
Wait, what? What's happening? Ah, what the f- Huh? What was that? Okay, no. Why do I have pause? Hello? Editor? Want to explain what's up with the whole purple monkey thing?
This is class.
Let's just say this one works a little better for where you're going.
Wait, is that the doll from the show? Amanda? What are you doing here? Where's my editor at?
Relax. I asked them nicely, and they
Oh,
said
that's so cool. The voice of Raggeth is helping. This is so cool.
I could handle the edit for this one.
I see, and your first creative decision was to make me a cymbal-clapping monkey.
Well, maybe not the first one, but it was pretty high on the list, yeah. And not only that, when I heard you were going to be covering the Amazing Digital Circus! Ah, that's better. I figured this was the best way to get a front row seat.
Cool.
So go on, go ahead. You won't even know I'm here.
Wait, hold up. You mean to tell me that after coming all this way and doing all of this to me, you're not going to help me?
I really wish I could, Mark, but you kind of wrote yourself into a corner here. I mean, you're the one who said, I am going to uncover all the secrets of the Amazing Digital Circus in one sitting
The Irish music and everything. That's absolutely sick.
and without help.
Okay, I do not sound like that.
I mean, you do sound a bit like
A little
that.
bit. Like,
Plus, I don't want to rob you of all the satisfaction of figuring it out yourself. You can do this, Mark. I believe in you. Now go get theorizing. Oh, and better do it sooner rather than later. The intro's rolling.
Wait, the what? All right, Mark, lock in.
Episode
you
1
got
pilot.
this.
Let's do this.
Whew,
Okay.
So here's the setup, right? This clown
I'm so glad I've checked this out before episode 8. I'm so glad.
girl Pomni spawns into the Amazing Digital Circus led by a pair of chattering teeth called Kane, who apparently forces them through a strange scenario he's cooked up for, I don't know, reasons. At first I was like, okay, that's a fun excuse for wacky adventures, but then this dude popped onto my screen.
Oh, the
Cosmo?
extracts. Yeah.
The what now? The big scary abstraction polygon monster?
His name is Kaufmo. But
Yeah.
don't worry, you're doing great. Keep going.
Yeah, okay, well, Kaufmo freaked the hell out of me. Going from very chill to existential nightmare fuel within the opening of a single door was
It's
not
so
something
weird,
I
the
anticipated.
extracts
And
on
what's
there.
more is that the advent of Mr. Kaufmo really put into perspective what this show is. fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
I
it's
can
scary.
absolutely imagine kids loving this for its horror and light presentation style, but existentially, this show is heavy. Like, the super interesting angle Gooseworks has taken with this is that while Kane puts them through scary situation after scary situation, it all seems voluntary. Like, the challenges to some extent are the
Oh, yeah, but then it's like, it's not really. They're forced into pretty much every single situation they're in.
reprieve these trapped humans have from confronting the real threat and villain of this place, their own mind's fragility when placed in what looks like a truly hopeless situation. Kaufmo is literally what happens when someone loses their mind. When I first heard that, I paused the video and thought about it for a few minutes, and the longer I did, the darker this show became to me. And to make matters worse, the show has offered not even the slightest hint about what on earth is going on here.
These activities may include
Like that, right? What the hell was up with that?
Yeah, that's what I love. It's like, it's so confusing, but I feel like it'll make sense eventually.
Okay, I'm taking so many notes here, but what the hell am I supposed to do with that? Is it a joke or a clue? The show's called The Amazing Digital Circus, and the ringleader of this place is glitching out every 5 minutes, so do I take this dial-up as an indication that a lack of internet connectivity is the culprit? Perhaps even an escape route? I mean, they made a point in saying that Kane can't control their minds, so he seems to have some limitations. Is he a person too, or an AI? I honestly have no idea. This entire first episode is an existential crisis wearing cartoon clothing, with Pomni being described as another human, implying that all the other central cast is real too. It got me thinking about how their designs might say something about them that the script isn't.
Yeah.
Pomni is a gesture, someone who's designed to be laughed at. Gangle's trapped in a mask of tragedy because her comedy half is broken. Kinger's a mere chess piece in someone else's game. Even you, Ragatha, the sweet and seemingly stable one, is made of soft fabric and buttons. It all feels like an intentionally sick joke. But this is where I had a eureka moment, which hit me like a 16-wheeler truck because it turned this entire video upside down. I think I've been thinking about this all wrong. Earlier, I kicked this whole thing off thinking that it was going to be an experience like Gravity Falls again, you know, looking for hidden codes in the wallpaper or whatever. But after 5 minutes with this show, I now know this is not Gravity Falls. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a central mystery here, one that I am determined to solve, but it's not within the background of its scenes that I'll find the answers. Okay, maybe there will be some. I'll get to that later. But this show is something different. Something I've never seen before. What I mean is, I think The Amazing Digital Circus is a crushingly real character study masquerading as a children's Saturday morning cartoon. So if I am to even stand a chance of finding out where this is all going, I am going to have to stop looking for clues and instead start listening and examining every fiber of this eccentric cast.
Ooh.
Excuse me, they're not fibers. They're beautiful little strands.
Okay, I didn't mean whatever. Okay, so your strands are lovely. The point is, for the first time, I actually feel like I'm onto something here. In fact, Ragatha, you're the very character that brought this all together for me.
Me?
You see, as Mr. Kaufmo's rampage reaches Pomni and Ragatha, one of the other characters, Jax, runs away to save himself, but this is where my jaw dropped because Ragatha does the complete opposite.
Yeah.
She stays behind to try and help bring Kaufmo back around, even though she should, at this point, I think, know that he's gone.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I knew immediately what this scene was trying to unveil. Ragatha prioritizes others over her own well-being, even when it is mortally dangerous.
Like, you know, she's witnessed it before, and it's just like, oh, God. Yeah.
Ragatha is literally ragdolled around, and even when she's hurt, she doesn't demand Pomni help her. She gives her an out? Her kindness is truly unconditional, and I think that might be to a fault. Okay, scratch that. It's definitely to a fault. This is where the veil totally dropped, and I finally got to peek behind the curtain. These characters are manifestations of the most troubled parts of their psyches, and when pushed to the limits like this, they start to break. So do these scenarios exist to try and force these characters past these issues? And if so, is this framed so cruelly to say that the path to safety is actually through self-realization instead? I mean, at this point, I had so many questions running through my mind, and this is where Gooseworks chose to drop a goddamn anvil on my head in the shape of Pomni's next decision. I'm sorry. What the f did she just do? Like, did she bail? You know, in most stories like this, the character that drops into the story often serves as the audience's surrogate, allowing for an easy introduction to the world and its mechanics, which is great. Pomni does tick all those boxes, at least at first, but in
Yeah, she doesn't really, does she?
most cases, that character rises to the task and takes on the hero's mantle pretty damn quickly. You know? The hero's journey? Well, that is not who Pomni is. Ever since she arrived in this world, she has not behaved like a cartoon character. She has felt distinctly human. I mean, okay, she is, but with her having just arrived, she's still very much in the denial phase of acceptance, with her only priority being survival and to locate a path of escape. And I think that's what this exit door is. It offers her everything she's wanted. And I love this scene. I mean, what's the most human move here? Find aid and save
Right,
Ragatha?
go.
Escape, possibly lose Ragatha, but maybe find a way
It's the fight or flight scenario, isn't it? Like, we all have that in us. We're in a situation, your body instantly goes, right, fight or flight.
to help everyone else on the outside? It's a trolley problem. There's so much happening in this first episode, and Pomni takes little time in making her choice. To say that this sequence blew my goddamn mind would be an understatement of the highest order. I mean, my god. I mean, the setup was already bringing me back to playing Portal as a teenager. I mean, you're a captive participant in a series of colorful, meaningless tasks guided by someone that seems one glitch away from a total meltdown. And it all comes crashing down once you get a glimpse into these back rooms. That alone would be enough to pique my interest, but then they took it a whole step further by folding in the goddamn Stanley Parable? What?
Yeah,
I can
you do get those vibes from it, yeah.
I can feel it in my bones. This backrooms bit must have sent theorists spiraling when it dropped back in the day. An office space where every exit door ultimately leads to another room with another exit? A
Yeah, it's like every episode leaves with so many questions. It's unreal.
maze with false hope at the end of every chamber. A simple space with the facade of agency that slowly and cruelly strips away that illusion over time. With every door vanishing behind her, it's as if everyone represents a choice Pomni can't take back. Not to Ragatha, not to herself. There are no undos. I mean, it should go without saying that we are well and truly out of kids' cartoon territory now, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. This shit is horrifying, and then suddenly, as if by magic, stops. What the fuck was that? What
Yeah,
the hell was
crazy.
that PC? That logo, CA. I know I
Yeah.
said this wasn't like
Cain and Abel, which is the mad theory, but like recent episode like made me think that ain't a thing now.
Gravity Falls, but good lord, what do I even do with this? C&A, Kane, and something? Pomni said right at the start of this episode that she put on a weird headset and now she's here, so are we all in some kind of VR game? When she escapes, she ends up in some weird null space. Is this Sword Art Online? Why did Kane just call this void zone spoiler territory? I'm not finding answers, but picking up so many questions. Well, okay, I won't speak too quickly because I might have just noticed something kind of important. You see, all this time we've been led to believe that Kane has eyes on everyone in the circus grounds, but had no awareness outside of that, in the void most specifically. But despite spending a considerable amount of time shouting and looking for Kane, despite Kaufmo's rampage, it wasn't until Pomni got into the void itself that suddenly the alarm bells went off for Kane? What happened to his hundreds of all-seeing eyes? What happened to not being able to see who's in the void? Was that a joke too? A lie? I don't know. He claims that the exit was an unfinished world that he created to fulfill their dreams of wanting there to be one. So, what? He himself truly has no idea how to get out of here, or is this all a big complicated web of lies? All I know for sure is that Kane cannot be trusted now. And more than that, that I
Oh my god, yeah, that is so true. He cannot.
should take that into account when trying to unravel the rest of this mystery as the episodes go by. So, with that in mind, let's zoom out and look at the big picture one last time. When these characters don't try to connect with one another honestly and instead fall back into their unhealthy habits, things go from bad to worse. The whole Kaufmo abstraction in this episode is the absolute worst case scenario. So does that mean the way to getting out of this place is to work through those things together? Wait, maybe this whole thing is a big form of excruciatingly cruel group therapy.
Come on, Mark. Be serious. I almost fizzled out of existence.
No, I'm serious here. Remember back when you were explaining how all of this abstraction stuff works?
Sure.
This is so cool.
Where are you going with this?
Because right there, look at that. A queen.
Oh.
Now, I'm sorry to bring this up,
There's
but
a
that cross
on the door. So is this someone that was there previously?
out queen must mean something. And I think it might mean something to Kinger. Did he lose someone? Did this world force him to live out that loss again? Is the real key to this mystery tied to learning how to move on in a healthy way? But why a king and queen specifically? At first I thought it was just cruel irony, but maybe it's more than that? As I said, all of these characters and their designs seem to mean something for their emotional headspace, so as the most powerful piece on this proverbial chessboard, maybe Kinger is the answer to all of this. Maybe he'll lead these other pieces out of this sick world. Or maybe I'm just full of shit. What do you think, Ragatha?
Mark, it's Amanda. You don't expect me to spoil the whole show for you, do you? You got this! Use that big wrinkly brain of yours. You're only one episode deep.
No, I don't think you understand. You see,
Yeah, like, oh, come on. There's still like another, what, at this point, 7, so another 6 more to go. And then I'm going to check out episode 8 tomorrow. I'm intrigued to see what we get from this.
I watched this episode 5 times. One time at half friggin' speed. My wife told me to come downstairs and stop watching that weird cartoon the other day. I have to know what happens.
Episode
Oh my
2.
god. Mark! Shut up.
Right, yeah, okay, Mark, lock in. To be fair, episode 1 was
Lock
probably
in.
the most crazy first episode I've ever watched, and so hopefully this one will be a little more chill.
Jesus.
This one was not more chill. It made me laugh, it made me well up, and by the end I felt so angry that I had
Oh, I was so sad with the alligator thing.
to go back to episode 1 again just to feel what happiness felt like through the lens of Bubble.
Why are you like this?
Anyway, this episode is about pursuing a bunch of crocodiles. And guys, I think Kane might be a terrible writer. But hey, that's okay, because Gooseworks is a brilliant writer. Also, I think despite being Australian, this bandit might actually be an alligator. I haven't spoken to my wife in 36 hours.
The best way to go head-to-head with them is to give you a war rig of your own.
God, I love this show. We Mad Max out
Let's
here right
go.
now. What do you got for me this week, Kinger?
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear you over the knives.
God damn it, where is my tragic backstory?
Yeah, sorry, Mark. I don't think you're getting more than a couple of laughs out of Kinger in this one.
Whatever, it was worth a try.
We get one, though. Oh my god, and when we get that episode... Oh, god, it's sad.
Look, Pomni, we're already
When Pomni and King are down in the... Oh.
Friends with the princess.
I'm not a child. You don't have to hype me up.
Gonna need a sensu for that one.
You know, there's something about Ragatha that kinda makes me uncomfortable, to be honest. Which, you know, sorry, Amanda.
Oh yeah, sure. She doesn't get picked on enough. That's fine. Let's talk about that.
She's not really doing anything dishonest here, but she does kinda have this overbearing need to police everyone's emotions. Okay, maybe police is the wrong word. Maybe it's the right word. I don't know. She kicks off this episode outside of Pomni's door and didn't even let the poor girl speak before word vomiting how it was okay that she left her to die in the last episode. I mean, okay, I get it. She's being compassionate, but it has the effect of robbing Pomni of any room to actually open and respond honestly to her. It's like she's so afraid of uncomfortable emotions that she'll just brush it all away and keep on smiling to maintain the status quo. But no matter what she does, I can't help but feel that's a circus into and of itself. Where's the genuine connection in all of this? Now, I think it is so interesting that this show lets Pomni not be okay with that too. I think we've all been Ragatha at some point in our lives, and it's rarely healthy. There's a big difference between not holding grudges and just pushing down any real emotion through fear. Being vulnerable and laying out your feelings openly is extremely difficult because it opens you yourself up to feeling hurt or being hurt. And while that vulnerability is scary, it's often the key to forming meaningful connections with anyone. And unfortunately, I know all of this because I have first-hand experience being that very person. And to this day, it's something I routinely struggle with. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that the only characters Ragatha manages to meaningfully connect with in this episode are the NPCs themselves. The very creations that populate this world, something that is arguably also a sort of delusion if my theory is to hold any water at all.
You think your mum's gonna pull through if we get all this back to the village?
She's a fighter, though. She told me everything I know.
Oh god, darkness, darkness.
Okay, oh god, what the hell is this scene? Because, oh, it's f***ing with my head, man. Why are they talking right now with no one real around? Seeing this forced me to reconcile why Ragatha has felt more comfortable.
Yeah, it is. Like, if they're NPCs, then... yeah.
Conversing with all of these NPCs. They're Kane's creations and artificial at a glance, which provides a cushion with which to feel comfortable in the same way many people unfortunately only feel comfortable sharing their feelings with something like ChatGPT rather than their real authentic friends. Now, when I think of NPC, I think of someone standing around and waiting to harass me with a Pokemon battle, or for the sake of this video, an interaction. But these three are having full-blown conversations independent of the Circus
around.
crew
Yeah,
that are
yeah, yeah.
downright
Okay, that's
emotionally
interesting, yeah.
charged. They have personalities, plans, relationships, and memories. They feel so alive. And that's the mark of so many great sci-fi works that have you question where the line between artificial and real truly is.
Yeah, where is it?
This must be
Yeah.
Kane's new immersive AI model he referenced in the episode's opening, where the line between human and creation has been blurred, and that sure goes a long way in explaining why.
It's okay, Mark. Sometimes these things are hard to talk about.
Yeah.
You don't have to say any more. We get it.
No. Stop. I just need a minute. Having escaped the map and landed in a never-before-seen zone, Gummy Goo discovers his own character model alongside many others.
Yeah, which is so... Oh, my God, it's so weird. It was so weird. It was so weird, because he was like, what is this?
All frozen in a pose. It's a disarming sight, but the way Gooseworks and the team frame this discovery is both intentional and I think very smart. While Pomni does show up eventually, the choice to have Gummy Goo find it first is significant. It gives
Yeah,
us
it
time to
adds
sit
more.
with his earlier motivations
And
as he
us think
silently
about it more as
uncovers
well.
the truth of his entire existence. And because we already understand the implications here, we're one step ahead of him. Like Pomni does when she arrives, we immediately know what this means. The episode so far has been big, loud, and wears its Mad Max influences plainly on its sleeves for all to see, so to watch him now piece it all
Yeah, but then it makes us question about these guys as well. Like, are they the same?
together, slowly and without any of that spectacle, I find it difficult to describe it in any other way than harrowing. It filled me with a profound sense of existential dread, and ironically, in this discovery that he's not human, he becomes maybe more human than the show has presented the majority of the main cast so far.
What does it matter? What do we have when you people leave?
Something strange started to happen in this scene. I began to really like Pomni's character. Now, not to say that I ever disliked her, she's always been interesting, but until now she's been trapped inside constantly disruptive circus antics. She's never been given the chance to quietly process something painful like this. And what Gummy Goo gives her here is tragic to endure, yes, but unlike the performative parts of Ragatha that frustrate her, this all feels genuine and authentic. Weird as that might sound. And I think that's why Pomni connects with it. The crisis he's going through is raw and rational, and maybe most importantly for her, relatable. And I think that's where this advice she offers him comes from. The world he's from might not be what he thought it was, but it's still populated by people who care about him, who he cares about. And what's beautiful about this moment is that she doesn't try to fix him, she fits with him. She validates his pain, and as a result lifts Gummy Goo out of this despair.
Yeah, but then, then Kane just like,
Literally. Their escape from the zone is the literal embodiment of this. Two people drowning in existential horror, pulling each other out through genuine connection and understanding. It's honestly beautiful, and I will be the first to admit that this genuinely got me emotional. The fact that this solution yields a win condition for both Crocs and the circus crew only emphasizes my point more, I think. That even in a world as absurd and hostile as this that forced you down a narrow path, there are still ways to navigate it if you're willing to meet someone honestly.
One of these guys made it through.
Wait, what?
madness.
Okay, so the first time
That
I saw
quick.
this scene, I froze where I sat for what felt like a
'Cause it happens like instantly, like quick, like you saw it. It's just like, what? No, we went through all that.
solid minute. This moment was so quick, so sudden that I didn't even register the fallout and conclusion of this episode upon first viewing. There are two kinds of anger in video reviews like this one you're watching. The sort that take hold of you in an entertaining way that's funny for you at home to watch, and then there's the livid silence that this one left me with. And it's a moment I think was worth sitting with because, more than any other instance in this story so far, it clarifies everything about how Kane himself operates. He isn't evil in a mustache-twirling villain sort of way.
Yeah.
He's a designer interested in outcomes and adherence to convention. I mean, if you think about it, how
I feel like he has rules he just has to follow.
often do side characters in cartoons get discarded after their episodes conclude? I mean, constantly, right? Everything except the main cast is disposable by design. Kane deletes Gummy-Goo because that's just how these things typically work in cartoon serials. And
Yeah.
thinking about it in this way, I found it difficult not to see Kane as an authorial surrogate here for Gooseworks. Someone exploring how their love for their characters can sometimes conflict with the need to discard them. How characters build worlds, design these lovable characters, and force them to suffer in service of a narrative. Gummy-Goo is deleted because it's too hard to keep track of who's human and who's an NPC. Not
Yeah.
who's a main character and who's a side character.
Oh, that is very interesting. Yeah, because if you keep him around, then it's like it messes up the. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Human and NPC. Essential, disposable. I'm sure any writer will tell you that that's just part of their job. You have to categorize characters and be willing to remove them when their time is up. Stories simply cannot sustain every living thing inside of them without drastic hits to pacing or cohesion. But we almost never see that kind of process acknowledged within the story itself. And to me, that simultaneously feels like an astonishing act of self-criticism on Goose's part and a terrifying look at how Kane operates. He might not be evil, but he's thinking like a writer. And that is a truly horrifying mindset applied to people who can feel. And we
Yeah, like that. We're told they are real people, and he is in control of everything. It is a scary thought.
see that immediately as Pomni falls deeper and deeper into despair. But just as she's about to lose hope, she's caught.
You at least want to join us for Kaufmo's funeral?
In moments of crisis like this, the people who can feel become all the more important. And I think that just might be the flaw in Kane's constructed reality. He can create, alter, and delete. He has total control over the rules, but he cannot change the fact that this world is populated by people who care for one another, and it's that sincerity, the same she offered Gummy-Goo, that ultimately brought Pomni back from the brink. And to think it was from an unlikely source. Ragatha, who stood there and poured her heart out along with all of the others, in what was the ultimate act of defiance in the face of tragedy.
Huh. I guess when you put it like that, that's...
Which is all well and good, but where does that leave me with my theory then?
Yeah.
Do I know anything more now than I did before watching this
No.
episode 20
No.
times? Honestly, not really.
Incredible work, Mark.
I mean, I still don't really understand Kinger's whole pillow fort thing he's got
It's because he likes to be in the dark. He can focus more when he's in the dark, which is what you get in the episode. Okay.
going on, or why Zubul specifically chooses to opt out of these adventures, besides the obvious. I mean, of the entire cast, they are by far the hardest to read for me, though I suppose that's likely down to a lack of exposure more than anything else. Conversely, Jax is a character I've received a ton of exposure to, and yet haven't brought him up until just now, and honestly, there's a reason for that. While I found him very entertaining, I've seen Jax's arrogant, sarcastic trick
I feel like Jax is the most complex character of them all. But yeah.
trickster archetype countless times across fiction, and due to this, I likely have an idea already where his character will go. However, once he opted out of Kaufmo's funeral, something occurred to me about him that I just have to talk about. Jax serves as this universe's counterbalance to Ragatha, meaning they are far more similar than their actions would lead us to believe. Ragatha manages her pain by managing everyone else's. She takes responsibility for emotional outcomes she has no business controlling because it gives her the illusion of stability. If she can fix everyone around her, maybe she doesn't have to acknowledge what's broken inside herself. It's control disguised as compassion. Conversely, Jax rejects control entirely by manufacturing chaos. If nothing matters, if everything's a joke, then nothing can hurt him. He doesn't so much manage feelings, he kind of just demolishes them before they can take root at all. But if we strip away the presentation, they're effectively doing the same thing. Both have built elaborate defense mechanisms to avoid sitting with their own pain and to control what little they can in an ostensibly volatile world. Ragatha hides behind care. Jax hides behind cruelty. And neither one is sustainable because neither one is real. The difference is that Ragatha's mechanism requires other people to function, and I think comes from a very genuine place. She needs someone to manage, someone to fix, someone to validate the performance. Jax's mechanism requires isolation, and we see exactly this when he makes the conscious decision to not attend Kaufmo's funeral, because to do so would mean any of this would matter to him at all. We've already watched Pomni force Ragatha towards authenticity, so perhaps she'll also push Jax in a totally different way, but ultimately in a similar direction. Or maybe I'm overthinking this and Jax is just a purple rabbit who likes throwing people out of windows.
I want to see what your funny cartoon body does.
I'm sorry, what?
Rated for mature Zoobles only.
Have I been watching this Looney Tunes ass adventure and somehow not concluded that each of them has their own traits or powers, for lack of a better term? I mean, I noticed before that things were wacky. Pomni's first action, pulling her eye from her socket, was a clue in episode 1, but for some reason, maybe because of the cartoon setting itself, suspending my disbelief, I just never noticed. Gango's mask shatters and regenerates every episode. Zubo's body can be largely interchanged with other appendages. In the second episode, Ragatha's body got impaled and her stuffing fell out.
Oh yeah, like nothing seems to affect her.
And that's not even to mention the countless
Like the recent episode, like she lost her eye, or she's been stabbed. Yeah,
times Pomni's body and arms have
literally like in the scene, she gets stabbed in that, and it's just, yeah, they all, yeah. I've not really thought about myself either.
stretched with Space Jam logic.
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out.
Now, given how meta this entire series is, the fact that Gooseworks is positioning each of these characters as having unique properties is such a gloriously fun idea that I just have to speculate on for a second. But I do have one question. I wonder what Jax's power is.
What do you, the viewers, think it is?
Oh, fuck you, Jax. Directly talking to me? Fuck
Yo.
you. You think you can hide your secrets from me? Do you have any idea how much spare time I have to watch this series? I haven't gotten up
He's got loads. He watched the first episode like 10 times.
from this chair in almost 24 hours. Who do you think you are? Dead? Wait. Everyone, shut up. I'm geniusing for a second.
Wait, I thought I was the one talking directly to you. When did Jax get here?
Okay, I think I might have noticed some things regarding Jax's abilities that he doesn't want to speak on. Firstly, Jax, just like Pomni, clearly has some cartoonish manipulation ability. But the moment Jax directly addresses us as the viewers, might actually be doing more heavy lifting than we might think. Now, these characters are performers in every sense of the word, not just in the circus setting, but in the way each of them has built a unique way of coping with their respective situations. Gango's mask is her emotional fragility made literal. Zubo's detachable body mirrors their relationship with identity. And so if that reading holds, then perhaps whatever Jax's ability turns out to be will probably tell us something about him he'd never willingly reveal about himself on his own. So, what am I thinking? Well, there's a trope in old school animation called hammer space. You've probably seen it even if you haven't heard the term before. It's essentially when characters pull objects from behind their backs or from off screen, Bugs Bunny style. It's a staple of cartoon logic, and given Gooseworks' love for animation history, I think Jax has exactly this ability. So what's my evidence? Well, Jax talks directly to the camera like Bugs Bunny does. He somehow has keys to everywhere and pulls them from behind his back or off screen. In this very episode, he yanks a vacuum cleaner out of thin air to suck up that ghost in the Haunted Mansion. So, I am calling it now, that's his power. Hammer space. An emotionally unstable Bugs Bunny trapped in an existential nightmare with cartoon logic at his disposal. And if I'm right about that, it might actually tell us something about how he himself copes. Think about it. This cartoon dimension he can pull from keeps him at arm's length from anything real. He never has to rely on anyone, never has to ask for help, never has to be vulnerable because he can just reach off screen and solve his own problems. Now, at any rate, Jax's determination to avoid sharing even the most circumstantial moment of authenticity just tells me that he's scared. Which means there will inevitably come a breakthrough moment for his character in the future that I just know I'm not going to be emotionally ready for when that time does come. Because despite how awful he is to virtually everyone, I do very much enjoy the dynamic he offers the group.
Yeah, but his moment in episode 7 was just, he added so much to the story. It's like, and so many more questions.
I think there's a person underneath there that's worth preserving. But that's enough about that. What else does this episode have for me? Oh, Bubble's on screen now. I haven't said this about Bubble, but I love the character. Everything they say from the word.
I think there's more about Bubbles than we're being let on. I think Bubbles has been absent. Was he in episode 7? Well, he was. I feel like this character, there's going to be something else going on with
Words they use to the way they say it just cracks me up. So, what sort of wacky or naughty thing is Bubble cooking up for us right now? Oh God, no.
It's all backwards. Did you play it the right way around?
I'm getting flashbacks to the Gravity Falls review. The damn Bubble just said something backwards, didn't it?
Yeah, he does that. You get used to it.
Oh, fine, okay, whatever. Hold on. How dare you make me download the audio and boot up all day?
10 hours later.
I can't wait for all the children in the audience to get horrible nightmares from the monster.
Neat. Consider myself braced. Ha, just kidding. I'm not a children. I haven't been one in a very long time.
Yeah.
Where's Zubul?
With this being the 3rd episode into this series, to hear that Zubul was once again sitting this one out made me genuinely grateful for what we ultimately ended up getting with them in this episode. The adventures in this show are functionally pointless outside of one simple aspect. While they serve no lasting consequence, the true utility of these outings is to break up the monotony of their existence while simultaneously offering each character a moment of diluted reprieve from the meaninglessness of this game that they are trapped within. But with Zubul, they are never present. Even in this one, they're not present. So that left me with a question. Why don't they just, go anyway? It's gotta be better than just sitting around all the time doing nothing, right? This is where we get Kane's therapy sessions, during which we ironically learn more about Kane, but
I love this. This is a good little recap on all the episodes as well. This is class.
but do learn a considerable bit more about Zubul despite this.
I hate this body. I hate all these stupid removable pieces.
Once I heard them say those words, I found myself once again asking, how did I not see this coming? Because the clues were all there, right? And now that it is all laid before me in such a vulnerable light, suddenly my questions surrounding the Zubul character have been answered, all the while offering a painfully real metaphor for what it's like to struggle with an identity. Zubul's modular body sounds like a dream on paper. I'm sure many of you watching would love to be able to swap out the pieces you hate for something you like. But the reality is that sometimes nothing feels right. And it can be debilitating when your body never feels comfortable. And I think why I like this scene is that it doesn't even begin to do the usual fiction thing where a few vulnerable lines then lead into a sprint towards a neat resolution. In fact, Kane jumps to what he thinks is a solution rather than really taking in what Zubul is saying, and then pivots into talking more about himself. Which is an unfortunate reality for so many people in the world, right? A lot of folks aren't at the I figured it out stage. There are so many people dealing with dysphoria and plenty more who are just straight up not comfortable in their own skin. The world to this day still treats it like it's fake or a phase, or even more commonly like something you have to pick a permanent box for and explain yourself. It's not clear to me yet what Zubul's arc will be, but I do wonder if it may be one that lands on this, that you can be unsure. You can change, you can be non-binary, you can use whatever presentation or pronoun that feels right for you, and that should be okay. Now maybe Zubul will find something that works for them, or maybe they'll come to find comfort in non-conformity. It's honestly too early to tell yet, and this conversation is very much cut short.
Making adventures, it's all I exist to do, all I'm good at.
And there it is. Everything Kane pushes for, including interrogating Zubul about why they won't participate, isn't about helping them, it's about what he needs or has to do.
It's confusing, isn't it? Kane seems very, very selfish. But when you think about it as well, it's like he's not real. So it's like, is he just following programming? And then it's like, you can't really blame him because he's, doesn't have the emotions to actually,
requires these performances, and when Zubul cuts straight to the heart of that, the world around them literally starts to short circuit, like something in his programming doesn't let him break free of that and think independently for himself. It makes me wonder if he's some sort of dogmatic AI rather than an inherent evil, which then makes me think that if there is a way out of this place, it may very well be through fully understanding moments exactly like this one.
Let's try this out.
Meanwhile, in the A-plot, Jax does what he
this episode
does best: ruin absolutely everything. Now, this episode's adventure features a strong horror-style aesthetic. Shots are positioned high and off to the side.
I love this episode.
Characters are framed behind taxidermized hands as if reaching out from behind them. Editing cuts are hidden inside lightning flashes. Everything about this feels like the characters are being watched, and that sense of uneasy claustrophobia serves as a striking contrast to the wide open spaces of the prior episode. However, the inspiration for this adventure doesn't only draw from traditional horror found in live action, or even video games for that matter. For an extended cut, they even found time to leverage some 2D animated sequences using only eyeballs, which was just so damn cool. The amount of emotion, intent, and action the artists involved managed to communicate through their floating eyeballs alone is nothing short of incredible. Oh my god! I think I might have peed a little.
I honestly don't even know what to say here.
There's something about the presentation and build-up of this moment that took me by surprise to such a profound way that I can't really articulate or make sense of it. Which is even more embarrassing because Gooseworks literally warned me. Now, this moment freaked me out so badly that I needed to rewatch the scene again because I missed what happened after. And good thing I did that, because something happened which formed my biggest theory yet.
You look beautiful, honey.
That's the Queen character he's talking about, isn't it? The one that was abstracted, the one that was on that door in episode 1? Man, hearing him say that felt so validating, I can't describe it. That was the foundation of my initial theory. So hearing him say this, the feeling of relief that washed over me, it almost made up for that horrific jump scare earlier. Almost. Now, thankfully, this wasn't a one-and-done moment either. Until now, while I have very much enjoyed every episode for a different reason, episode 1's script remained the most impressive to me for several more academic reasons. However, in addition to offering even more fuel to my own theories, the conclusion to this third episode featured such profoundly touching and well-executed emotional sequences, informed by the setting itself, that this episode now firmly sits as my absolute favorite one so far, and one that will stay with me for a very long time to come. Now, in this video, I've expressed surprise and, at points, belligerence over this show falling completely under my radar. But this might be the first moment where I feel like I really missed something special. So buckle up, because I'm diving into this thing and theorizing the hell out of it.
Let's go. Oh my god, I love this episode so much. This was so emotional.
In my attempts to protect her, I ended up becoming the monster myself.
While this adventure takes on a cartoonish level of horror thanks to Kane, complete with plenty of instances that point to his bad writing, the drip feed of tape recordings that divulge paragraphs of exposition concerning the monster shift this sequence from Kane's cliche reimaginings of the horror genre into a potentially illuminating deconstruction of what makes an actual monster. That line we hear over the tape recorder, quote, "In my attempts to protect her, I ended up becoming the monster myself," is, I believe, what this entire show could be about. Every character in this circus has a coping mechanism that ends up pushing the connection they all desperately need and crave farther and farther away. Jax's detachment, Gangle's masks, Zubal's withdrawal, Ragatha's lack of consideration for herself.
Just leave it to me. I can handle this.
Now listen, I love Kinger. I think he's the most lovable one of the group, but when he said that he could handle this, I had about 2% faith in his abilities to, quote, handle this. So I guess I'm the fool?
No, but like, again, he's in the dark. It's part of his thing. It's, which is still, we don't understand. Well, like,
That wasn't so bad.
Which is what I would be saying if I didn't know that the creature was actually one of God's angels.
What?
Okay, that one was actually really funny. That got me. Made even more funny knowing that Ragatha's group took the pacifist route, but all of these jokes aside, something very strange is clearly happening to Kinger because he seems, I don't know, lucid in a way we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Man.
7 years of computer science for this, huh?
Wait, did you hear that? Pomni apparently isn't interested, but good God, I fucking heard it.
Yeah.
7 years of computer science? Kinger just casually dropped a memory about his past like it was nothing. Combined with those office corridors from episode 1, the C&A logo, him being there the longest, and this is starting to paint a potentially clearer picture for me. Could it be possible that all of these people worked together as part of a game development studio? I don't know. Kinger certainly sounds like he has, and if he had a hand in building this place at all, then
I don't think
what
so.
King created in this adventure suddenly becomes so much darker and potentially revealing for him. The entire episode is built around a ghost haunting a mansion, protecting his wife, losing her, and becoming a monster in the process.
This isn't covering all the episodes I've watched, is it? This is quite interesting. There's going to be a part 2.
If we connect the dots, that sounds an awful lot like what Kinger's backstory could be. Meaning, Kane designed an adventure that is Kinger's trauma, whether he knew it or not. The story that unfolds within the flashback is deeply tragic and profoundly humanizes every silly action Kinger offered in the prior episodes. Every retreat into his pillow fort, his mention of bugs during episode 2, and his eyes being closed to create darkness during Kaufmo's funeral. It all just takes on this enormous amount of retroactive meaning following this origin story. Quote, "The darkness seemed to calm her down a bit, enough for him to touch her one last time before she was taken from him forever." But what makes this sequence so revealing for me is that throughout this entire adventure, Kinger has been lucid, sharp, present in a way we've never seen him before. From this, we understand that darkness brings him clarity and that light scatters him. Now, trapped in the dark of this mansion with Pomni, he can just about manage to hold himself together long enough to be the man he used to be.
Sometimes it all just feels pointless. But it's not. Not if you have people who care about you.
What Kinger just said here, I think, could be presented as the thesis of the entire show. Normally, Kinger's mind is fractured, held back by layers of possible suppression over a harrowing and traumatic event. And if I'm right about this, and the connection I've drawn with Kinger at the very least being some sort of developer for this game is true, then it's possible that the information which holds the key to their escape from this dystopian environment could be buried somewhere in the deeper, darker recesses of his mind. And looking at the story through this lens, suddenly Pomni's function as a character reveals itself. She could be the missing ingredient, the personality that finally allows all of them to come together, to meaningfully connect with each other and escape. Once the noise clears and the final challenge presents itself to both Kinger and Pomni to hold their breath, Pomni voices her anxiety openly to Kinger, who tells her simply, "Why don't we try not thinking about it?" If you didn't notice, that is precisely his coping strategy. Don't think about it. Suppress it. Fragment yourself so the pain can't land all at once. It's devastating and heartwarming in equal measure as he coaches Pomni through her mental blocks using the same mechanism that's kept him barely functional for however long he's been trapped here. And as they walk with Pomni, cycling through the colors we saw from her in this episode's opening, Kinger's ability suddenly reveals itself. He's a light, literally and metaphorically. Even when broken, when fractured, he can still guide someone else through the dark and escape. That has to mean something more in the grander context of the story, no? From the moment Pomni has arrived, she's had her walls up with one foot literally out the exit door in episode 1. But slowly, over time, across these episodes' runtime, she's grown. There's a moment in this where Pomni confesses that she never knew Kinger had a wife. Like everyone else, Pomni walks past that queen door every day, but...
Oh, there we are. Tragedy.
She's never asked about it because she's been so consumed by her own distress that she hasn't looked outward, at least not until now. Once they do emerge, the growth itself becomes visible. She finally sees Ragatha properly for who she is. Someone who showed genuine care from the start that Pomni never had the capacity to acknowledge because she was so focused on looking inward.
Did you remember to get my comedy mask?
And if that's not the perfect ending, I don't know what is. So here's where I'm at, guys. I don't think Kinger deliberately trapped everyone here, but I do think he was here first with his wife and has more of a hand in all of this than we are being led to believe. Maybe they were testing it. Maybe something went catastrophic. Either way, the guilt and trauma of losing her fractured his mind to the point where any answers are buried under protective disassociation. The darkness calms him. It brings clarity. So maybe the way forward is through moments like these where masks are forced to come off and people see each other clearly for who they are. Not through Kane's adventures, through each other. Or maybe I've watched this episode 20 times and I'm projecting patterns. Either way, this is officially my favorite episode and I have zero regrets for the amount of time that I've spent on it. Now I know I've taken some crazy swings with these theories, the dev studio with Kinger being there first, designs based on trauma, and the solution being basic human connection over any grand puzzle solving or set piece. It's entirely possible I look back at this in a few months and look like an absolute moron, but the more I sit with it all, the more I think I might just be right. Every emotional breakthrough has been what moves the plot forward rather than any adventure has. And that can't be by accident. So either I'm getting to the core of this story, or the show is about to pull the rug out from underneath me in ways I couldn't possibly predict. And well, given how confident I feel right now, I'm excited but terrified to keep going.
Yay, for you're definitely having fun, and isn't that the whole point here?
Next up, I'll be covering episodes 4, 5, and 6, and I have a feeling they're gonna be big. Now, I've been Totally Not Mark. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
That's mad. I was expecting it to cover like up to where I was at, and that's why I was like, I need to watch episode 7 first. But I'm glad it pushed me to watch episode 7 because now episode 8's out. So yeah, we could. Well, yes, I'm gonna check out episode 8 next, so we're up to date. And then when Mark does his next one, we'll check that out. Got loads of other things to check out. Oh, that was really cool. It's made me think about a few things, actually, and it's going to make me think about a few things going into episode 8, actually, as well, because I never noticed the other thing on the door that looked like Kinga. So, yeah, it does add a lot more to him. But anyway, thanks for watching.